It was good, boys and girls. Strange one today. Mikel Arteta looks like he's making his second signing in as many days. And now we're talking about Portuguese Southampton star Cedric Soares. Now, the funny thing about this one is, first of all, he's a right back. So we've kind of got cover there, haven't we? It's not good news for Niles. It's the first thing I thought about was, listen, Niles has been very consistent, one of the most consistent players in the team thus far this year. And I talked about that in my ratings, my player ratings that I have to do every game. He's consistently around the 7, which is what Monreal used to do. Monreal, I used to call him Mr. Consistency because he never put a foot wrong. And he was consistent at what he did. Running up and down the channels, positioning was great. And that's what Maitland-Niles has been doing. And let's be fair, he's had his shaky moments. He's had a rough time. But ever since Arteta said, I'm wiping the slate clean with everybody. You all have to start from a certain point, and then I judge you on what you're doing on the field with me. He's been one of the players that has really stepped it up. So in comes Cedric Soares, and now we've got a 28-year-old veteran who's a Portuguese international and has played many times with Southampton and looked good as well, especially in their turnaround. But in their turnaround after that 9-0 drubbing against Leicester City, a lot of things has changed within the team now and they are playing out of their socks. And he looks good. He's looked good mostly going forward. I think in defence he's pretty average. But you know, this reminds me of something. This reminds me of when Arsene Wenger brought in Debuchy from Newcastle. French international, I rated him really highly. Came here, had a couple of fantastic games for Arsenal, got injured, and what happened? A young player called Hector Bellerin came in the team, took over the reins at right back, and Debuchy never recovered from it. He never got the time to go in there and make anything happen and show what he can do. And obviously we know what happened to him. He was frustrated. French international, World Cup winner, couldn't even get in the Arsenal team, and he was dying to get out of here. And sadly, his Arsenal career wasn't what we all thought it was going to be. I'm not actually sure whether this is going to be the same thing that's going to happen with this new guy. And the reason is because we've got cover there already. Can this mean it's the end of Niles? I'm not sure I can say that. Because, listen, we know Maitland-Niles' natural position is the midfield. But boy, every time I see him play there, I'm just like, this man ain't no midfielder. He ain't got it. You know, it's kind of like what I was saying about the Ox when he was playing on the wing, and the man never did anything. Dribble past two man, no vision, no end product, no goals, no shots, nothing. And then what happens? He goes to Liverpool. Liverpool puts him in the middle and looks like a quality player. So I really don't know what to say about Maitland-Niles at the moment. Right now, he's showing me that he's a decent right back, and that's where I'd like to probably see him moving forward. I wouldn't trust that the man in the middle of the park. Yeah, I just wouldn't be able to do it. And we got covered there anyway, which is why he's been more pushed to a right back position. The good thing is, though, Cedric Soares can also play left back. He has played there a few times. He's a two-footed player. So maybe that is probably what Arteta's looking at, because we're right down to the bone at left back. I mean, we have an attacking left-sided player in Sacco playing at left back and playing very well. But again, is this something that 28-year-old is going to come into and think he's going to be getting playing time game in, game out? Because here's the problem. When you take a veteran and start to put him into the team, someone with experience, someone who's consistent and doing what he's doing, you're also capping the development of your younger players. And if there's one thing that we know this season is Arsenal have excelled at playing their kids. Yeah, there are players, even the ones that are not in the team right now, like Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe. Even those guys have showed flashes and showed quality and showed that they deserve to be in this team. They deserve to be a part of the team. So it kind of confuses me where we are. I mean, we paid 25 million for Kieran Tierney. So, you know, he is the future. That he's the person who we are looking at to play at left back. And obviously we have Klasnach there as well, who can play as a wing back. So I really don't know where this guy fits in, and maybe this is experimental. Let's not forget, it is a loan. they're talking about the top values is going to work out to be about 5 million, but it's basically a 1 million loan. Yeah. Um, and I think that he's going to be, obviously, he's a free player in the summer, he's a free agent. But see, what used to happen, this is the weird things. It's not like we don't know what he can do. We've seen him play in the Premiership. So what is it that we're actually looking for that we don't understand? Because in the mix of things, you would normally sign the player to a pre-contract. That's what you do in January. You don't say, oh, you know what, let's throw out some money, some loan money, and let's keep him here for 6 months and see how he pans out. And then in the summer, he's open to sign with anybody. What you would do is you would identify the need straight away, and you'd say, you know what, this guy fits our ethos, he fits our values and our excellence, and he fits our mentality, and he's a free agent, so we don't have to pay for him. So let's negotiate a pre-contract for the summer so that he can do whatever he wants now, but in the summer he's an Arsenal player. I'm not sure why those conversations haven't taken place. And the fact that it wouldn't cost us anything means that it's not really got anything to do with financial fair play. I get the financial fair play. I totally get it. And that's the reason why we've got 2 loans this January. Because from what we went through last summer, the books were balanced. So I kind of went into January and I said to you guys on the 2nd of January in the video I shot, I said, don't look for anything happening this month big time unless players leave. So we do the players in, players out, or we get paid players on loan. Because looking at the books, we can't really afford to buy anybody at the moment. Yeah, because we're not showing any money coming in. We got loads of money in the bank, 260 million sitting in the bank, surplus cash, but we haven't generated any money in. So going by the rules, we have to be careful with what we're doing. And we've been very careful. We've got now these 2 players who are 2 loans, and then we're going to work out whatever we need to work out in the summer. So overall, guys, in my opinion, I think it's a decent move. It's definitely a decent player. He's definitely Premiership proven. And he's proven on the international stage as well. With Portugal, a proper team that. Yeah, it's a proper team. So I don't see any bad in the deal outside of what do we do with Maitland-Niles. So, I would like to have those questions answered. However, it doesn't really matter. Arteta knows he needs a strong squad. So bringing in any bums on seats is going to help the situation. Okay? So that's it from me, guys. It's not confirmed yet. We'll have to wait till later on today because there's only 24 hours left in the window to go. So I'm judging by the end of today, we're going to have a look and see whether this gets solidified, or at least in the morning. And then we'll probably pull the show forward from next Monday to Sunday again for the reason that we're playing on the Sunday. So it would be fitting to do an 8 o'clock show on the Sunday to wrap that all up and to wrap up the events of the transfer window. So we're probably going to go with Sunday evening again at 8 o'clock and see where we are for our live weekly podcast. It would be podcast number 6. And thanks to everybody who's shown appreciation and support for the weekly podcast. They're really, really doing well at the moment. And feedback from you guys is pretty good. So listen, right back at you. Back up your team, man. Back it up. And then I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace out.